Tim, thank you so much for joining us at the Gala dinners and supporting what we're doing. For those that may not know your story, what's your connection to the disability sector?
Well, apart from the mates I had at school, one who had CP and another bunch of kids who were deaf when I was at primary school in Bathurst, I contracted, or whatever the word is, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis after having a long period of these symptoms that would come and go, River. So they'd appear and it'd be like, oh my God, I can't walk. And then just a couple of weeks later, it would all be fine. Eventually I got it diagnosed, and since then I've just kept going as much as I can. Multiple sclerosis, if you're not sure what that is where your autoimmune system starts eating the myelin in your brain, which is like the rubber tubing around all the nerves in your central nervous system. So it can affect you in all sorts of ways. For me, I'm kind of lucky. My legs don't work, my left arm doesn't work, but as you can hear, my talking works, and my right hand is really quite bothersome, which is enough to get me around the place. But my connection then has been, I'm now an ambassador for the Human Rights Commission Includability project, which is very exciting. They didn't give me a hat or a boat or an eye patch or anything, but I'm an ambassador, which means I've got to speak politely and not start a war. But that's basically who I am. And that's my MS journey, which has brought me right here.
And what's the next 12 months look like for you?
Well, it's always busy, busy, busy. I don't like the idea of letting MS dictate what I'm going to do and where I'm going to do it. But I have had to change a lot of the ways I do things. For example, I'm going to the Adelaide Fringe just on whenever it is, like the 10th of March, for a bunch of new shows called Disability Rules. And the way I get there is always more tricky. To get on an aeroplane, I need to use an eagle lift. And if you haven't tried one of those, it's worth turning up in a wheelchair and pretending that you need it, because it's a really great way to get on an aeroplane. I also tour with more people around me to make sure my head stays attached. But, we're making another movie. I'm writing new books and touring the show around the place. We just did the Gold Coast and got out before the cops arrived. So who knows what will happen. It's going to be a busy year. And hopefully we get it all done without any tears, and they won't be mine. There'll be people who work at an airport. They'll be in tears. And
I guess here in Australia, we've got a lot of things happening in the disability sector. We've got a lot of changes, happening with NDIS. Do you think here in Australia there's some key things that we could probably really do better, I guess, to support disability here in Australia?
Well, the NDIS has been great, River. It's let people know, because now they're paying for it, just how many people with some kind of disability living in Australia. That's 4.4 million people are eligible to apply for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. This is a huge number of people, and it's good that there's now greater awareness. What I really spend a lot of time working on is trying to get people with disabilities into meaningful employment, to help people who run businesses employ people with disabilities, and also to give people who have disabilities some tools and some know-how that will help them apply, and if they have to, go through an interview process and that kind of thing. I dream of a day when people just don't care. I know that sounds terrible. We're all supposed to care, especially if you're a professional carer. I don't mean it that way. I mean, I dream of a day when someone with any kind of disability can approach an employer and say, hey, I came for that great job, but you should know that I have this disability, whether it's mental, physical, acquired, psychosocial, neurological, it goes on. I've got this thing, but I can do the job. I want to come to the day where the employer says, I don't care about the disability. Can you do the job? If so, you're hired. So nobody pays it any mind, because really, if a person with a disability has managed to get to your office and apply for a job and is sitting in the chair in front of you or the Zoom in front of you, then they can probably do whatever it is they're applying for. So we have to make employers relax, and also try to give people with disabilities the confidence to turn up and let them have it.
Yeah, well, I think employment is a big one at the moment. There's always that thought of, do I tell them or do I not tell them when the disability might not be something they can see straight away, and that's always a big worry, I think, for people applying of, do I or do I not come out with that? And other disabilities, you obviously you can see them straight away. And I think there's been a lot of work in the sector like that. So that's a huge one. So thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing. And we hope to kind of raise these sorts of issues with what we're doing with the Galas of the National Disability Leadership Organisation. And of course, as part of our huge events that developing Australian communities are doing. So we're looking forward to seeing you there. And thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you. And thanks, everybody. See you at the Gala.
Mm-hmm.